Welcome to Lesson 5, Selection using if. Up to now, our programs have always run every line. From this lesson onwards, programs can make decisions. This is one of the most important ideas in programming. So let's have a look at the do it now. Question 1. Input can be used in calculations. True or false? Question number 2. Int converts text into a number. Question number 3. Float converts int into text. Question number 4. Variables can store calculation results. And question number 5. Output shows results to the user. Pause the video, get your answers ready, and we'll go through them shortly. Okay, answers. Question 1 is true. Question 2 is true. Question 3 is false. Question 4 is true. And question 5 is also true. Let's move on to the objectives. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain what selection is and how selection works. You should be able to write an if statement and predict which code will run. But what is selection? Selection means choosing between different paths in a program. Python uses the keyword if to test a condition. If the condition is true, the code runs. If it's false, the code is skipped, or an else runs instead. Let's have a look at some examples. Example practice number 1. Pass or fail. Open Create with Code and type this program out. On line number 1, if the condition is true when we enter our score as a number, if the score is greater than or equal to 50, the program is going to print pass. If it's false, Python skips this section. Let's have a look at example or extension number 2. Pass or fail with else. Line number 1 again, we enter our score as a whole number. And line number 3. If the score is greater than or equal to 50, you get a pass. If that's true, pass prints out. If it's false, else will print out, which means you get a fail. Else runs only when the condition is false. Exactly one path will run. Common mistakes for if statements. At the end of every if statement, there must be a colon, as you can see on line number 3. At the end of every else statement, there must be a colon. And you can see that each print is indented in slightly on line number 4 and line number 7 because that print statement belongs to the if and on line 7 the else. And this next practice example, which is age equals int, which is a whole number, and if the age is greater than or equal to 16, it will print out aloud, else print not allowed. This is how real rules are written in programs. Selection turns rules into code. Let's have a look at the main program. Cinema entry system. What we have here, we have age equals int input, enter your age, and has ticket equals input. And the question prompts you to enter yes or no. The selection statement on line number 4 says, if age is greater than or equal to 12 and has ticket is directly equal to or double equals yes, then you entry allowed. So if both of these conditions are true, where age is greater than or equal to 12 and has ticket equals yes, then entry is allowed. Otherwise, entry is denied. Run the program on Create with Code, press pause on the video, and we'll come back in a second. Okay, let's code. Age equals int, input, enter, age, 2 brackets on the end, because we've opened 2 brackets, we close 2. Has underscore ticket equals input. We're expecting a string on this one. Do you have a ticket? And we need to prompt them to say yes or no. So we'll just do yes, no, and then we also need to close the quote, close the bracket. We don't need 2 brackets on the end of this one because this one's going to be a string. Then we'll start writing our statement. So our selection statement says if age is greater than or equal to 12 and, this is a key word we haven't really come across before, but the word and means you can join 2 conditions together in the same sentence, and if they're both true, it's going to print out entry allowed. And has underscore ticket equals equals. Double equals means directly equal to, and if has ticket is directly equal to yes, the word yes, colon, never forget the colon, because it creates the little indentation and we can print out entry allowed. So when we press enter now, it's still indented. So what we need to do is just go back twice, because our else needs to line up with our if, and else will always have a colon on the end as well. So when we print out entry denied with quotations around it because it's a string, we can run the program and see if it works. So if I test all these conditions just to see if the program selection works, I'm going to enter, first of all, I'm going to enter 13 for the age to test to see if the age works, and I'm going to say yes for a ticket to see if it outputs entry allowed, and it does. Perfect. I'm going to press run again, and this time I'm going to enter age as 11. So this condition is false now, but I've got a ticket, and see if it outputs entry allowed or denied. You predict. Entry denied. So the first condition is false, but the second condition is true. So this word and really works in this scenario, and it defaults out of this because it ends up as false and prints entry denied. Let's try it again. If I enter age 11 and ticket as no, it should be entry denied. And finally, let's run it one more time and do 14 and a ticket as yes, and entries allowed. We can make this a little bit more realistic again by printing out welcome to the cinema. We could pop an emoji in here as well if we wanted. Let's pop an emoji in. An emoji is classed as text. It's part of Unicode. Entry allowed. I'm going to pop a little emoji in here as well, just as a little celebration, so you can allowed into the cinema. And I'm going to play around with the age, so instead of a 12, I'm going to say a 15 and see what happens. So welcome to the cinema. It's a little bit more realistic. Enter age, let's say 16, and has a ticket, let's say yes, and okay, and entry's allowed, with a little celebration after it. Make sure you've entered all the programs so far into Create with Code, and then we can move on to doing an exam style question. Okay, predict what is printed when these lines of code are run. Press pause on the video, predict, and then we'll come back in a second. Okay, these lines of code have run. Fail is printed because 50 that's greater than 50 is false. The condition must be true for the if block to run. Essentially 50 isn't greater than 50, 50 is equal to it. So it won't print out pass, it'll print out fail. Let's have a look at some quiz questions based on the main program. Question number 1. Which keyword starts selection? Question number 2. Which line is the condition on? Question number 3. When does else run? Question number 4. Why is equal equal used? And question number 5. What happens if the condition is false? Pause the video, have your answers ready, and we'll go through them shortly. Okay, answers. Which keyword starts selection? Is if. Which line is the condition on? It's line number 4, where the if starts. When does else run? It only runs if is false. Why is equal equal used? It needs to be directly equal to. So when has ticket is directly equal to yes, or the input yes, entries allowed. And what happens if the condition is false? It runs the else statement. Hopefully now you understand how programs make decisions. Selection is the foundation of all intelligent software. Next, you'll extend this with elif, loops and validation moving forward. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye!